What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my video. My name is Nick Cullen Carroll. Currently, I live in Palm Desert, California. And who am I as a person? I think there's a couple of things that define me other than my passion for kinesiology. I am a lucky husband. I'm a fortunate father. I have two children, one 5, one 3. I guess I have a third child if you call dogs children. His name is Eric. He's a pretty cute little dog. And then the other thing I would say is I'm a lifelong student. I love to learn. I've been a part of the NSCA for most of my life. I've been going to conferences since I was about 12 or 13 years old with my dad, and I just really enjoy getting to hear what progressive things are happening specifically in this field. Currently, I'm a physical education teacher. I'm about to become the head of the department, which is kind of scary. I'm a head track and field coach, and then I'm a head strength and conditioning coordinator. So I'm juggling a lot of things at the high school that I work at. But it's better to be busy than to be bored, in my opinion, honestly. I enjoy what I do, but I think I'm going to spend about 10 to 15 years there, maybe 20 years, depending on how I build a retirement. If I do well, then I could transfer on to the next level. I'd like to move up to the university level ultimately, and my goal would be to be a college professor. I'd like to focus predominantly on teaching. I would say that research isn't something that I love to do, but I'll do it. I've done it in the past, and I enjoyed the process, as rigorous as it was, from everything from filling out the IRB to writing the manuscript. It's some of the processes are not enjoyable, but overall I think it's fun. But I would prefer to spend most of my time in the classroom and obtain that will you say title of master teacher. That's kind of my goal there. My athletic background is predominantly strength training sports. I've been doing Olympic lifting since I was 4. I started on PVC pipe and wooden plates, just like most people who start out with strength and conditioning. You don't start out with a lot of weight, and you spend a lot of years just working technique. So I'm pretty biased towards Olympic lifting. I'll be spending most of the Olympics watching Olympic lifting, whereas most people probably won't be watching that. They'll be watching gymnastics or whatnot. Uh, Currently, I still do Olympic style lifting just because it's one of the most enjoyable things for me, and I get to stay fit. But I've also picked up playing a lot more golf, being that I live in the desert, and you can pretty much play it year round. And one more thing, if you don't play golf, then something's pretty much wrong with you out here. You have to play golf to be a part of the crowd, I guess. For coaching athletic experience, I've been doing strength and conditioning since about 2010 when I graduated. I started with my alma mater, and I got to work with collegiate teams as well as a couple of Olympic gold medalists. And then after that, I got to work with some middle school athletes. I've worked with high school athletes, different colleges, different levels of college, from community to UCs. It's been a wonderful journey, I got to say, this far. Along the way, I've also coached track and field most of my coaching career. I've dabbled a little bit in basketball, and I have quite a few years of football coaching experience as well. When it comes to this topic in this class, I gain more respect for nutrition each day. I used to be the individual that would just say, eat whatever you want, as long as you're exercising, you're fine, which for some people can probably work. That's the crazy thing about nutrition, and it's another thing I learn every day, is that how highly individualized it is. But for me, I've learned that having a good diet to complement my activity routine, and I've learned that for my family as well as the clients that I have and my students, it seems to work better. And so I've slightly shifted over to that approach. My hope for this course is that I continue to diversify the amount of perspectives I can receive, and I become more acceptable of other people's nutrition regimens and other people's beliefs, as well as I get as much information from my fellow students and my professors in the form of papers or discussion posts that are going to allow me to become more intelligent on the topic of nutrition. For my background, not very diverse. I guess I didn't really start focusing on it until about 5 or 6 years ago. I taught a few classes at the University of Oklahoma, intro level classes for nutrition, and then I guest lectured in a couple of classes because my advisor at the time was the upper division teacher for nutrition courses. So I did a couple guest lectures on protein and carbohydrates. Other than that, in my physical education job, I try to implement some of the basics. What are carbohydrates? What are protein? What are fats? What's the amount of water we should be eating? What are the levels of intakes that we should have for our activity levels? I try to make it palatable for the students. We do nutrition logs and some of the simple stuff, not necessarily to get them to log everything that they're doing, because I realize that's a strenuous process, but just to help them become accountable for the things that they're putting in their body. You know, I want them to see that they're eating hot Cheetos and Coca-Cola for 5 meals a day, and that maybe it'd be a good idea to change that up. So in nutrition specifically, I would say my favorite topics to observe are trends. And when I say that, I mean examples like weightlifting and football and some of those strength and power sports geared more towards high protein, high carb diets, how that works, why it's better for them, why it could not be better for them, how it could be individualized in a different way. Same thing goes for the trend that we're seeing now with ketogenic diets and ultra endurance athletes, and Paleolithic diets being complemented with high intensity interval training. Other than that, I also like seeing the unique perspectives that people bring forward, making a case for veganism and vegetarianism with athletes. I think I would be on the opposite side of that discussion, but that definitely doesn't mean that I'm willing to hear out what people have to say on that. So thank you for listening, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I look forward to hearing what you guys say in the chat this week.